Hello everyone and welcome back to the MGL. We are officially in playoffs after finishing as the first seed in the Rose division this regular season. So with the way playoffs are structured, I'm actually up against the fourth seed of the opposite division, and that's gonna be, come on, Gunk, co-owner of the league and someone that I am 0-3 against going into this match. She has taken wins against me in LDL, MBC, and MGL Season 1, so I would just love a win here, not even just to advance in playoffs, I just want to win against her at least once. That is going to be tough though. Her team is full of big threats. Right off the bat, we have Dracloak, which is faster than Frogadier and forces out my offense while pivoting out of my defensive switch-ins. Minfu is a fighting type with great coverage and regenerator to keep itself topped off. Clefairy is possibly the best fairy type in the format between its good bulk and magic guard. Her Fletchinder matches mine in speed and takes advantage of my mediocre flying resists, and Duat is a great pivot that switches into Frogadier with bulky Eviolite sets. Then of course there's Hippopotas, which is an insurmountable wall for about a third of my team. This pairs up really nicely with a U-turn Fletchinder since it beats just about everything that would ever be okay with switching into Fletchinder. Alolan Grimer near the bottom there is also a pretty big threat since it makes for a great check to Hattrem and spams knockoff. That is it about it for the threats. There is a Varoom mirror here, and that's very funny, but I don't really think we're going to see either of the rooms here. So this was definitely a difficult build for me. I don't think I have a great matchup here, so we're doing a couple things to try and catch my opponent off guard. That starts with this Frogadier, which is first and foremost an important revenge killer to take out Fletchinder and pressure out Hippopotas. Surf and Ice Beam coverage gets neutral damage into everything except for Duat, U-turn pivots out of said Duat as well as specially defensive Grimer, and Spikes is very important in this matchup to pressure the heavy switch game I think my opponent will be playing. As far as the EV spread, here's where things start to get a little unhinged. We of course have speed for Fletchinder, and we're mostly invested in Spadef otherwise. This is to try and tank a hit from Dracloak, which is the most immediately obvious revenge killer for Frogadier. Frogadier does miss the special attack investment, but it still pressures out what it needs to, that being the Fletchinder and the Hippopotas. The item is also Gustap Berry. This is just here so I don't show that I'm some other item like boots or leftovers, so that I can bluff a Scarf set in front of the Dracloak. The idea there is that I can quote-unquote revenge Dracloak with the Frogadier and bluff the Scarf. If she is Scarf on Dracloak herself, she might try and hit me anyway, and that's where the Spadef comes in. I'll tank the hit and strike back with an Ice Beam. And if she's not Scarf on Dracloak, she'll probably have to switch out, respecting the possibility of my Scarf, and I'll get that information. So weird Frogadier set, but there is a method to it here. Next up is Hattrem, which is running physically defensive with Ring Target. This is generally a solid switch into Hippopotas, since we bounce back rocks and don't take too much damage from it otherwise. And then Ring Target Trick nails the only Psychic Resist on my opponent's team, which is the Grimer. If I pull that off, Hattrem has free stab Psychic for the rest of the matchup anytime it gets a switching opportunity. That is kind of a lot to ask to go my way, I understand that, but there is big payoff if it does work out. Other than that, Nuzzle is just a general nice move to click, and Giga Drain really swings the Hippopotas matchup into my favor. Next up is Scraggy, and I think this is the Pokemon that has the most potential to win this matchup. We're running a pretty standard, specially defensive Eviolite bulk up set with knockoff and drain punch getting near perfect coverage in this matchup outside of Clefairy. Early game, because of Shed Skin and Rest, this can be a solid defensive switch into Dracloak, Grimer, and Varoom, and then late game, this can potentially set up on those guys plus Hippopotas to try and win the game. We absolutely need a few threats out of there. Fletchinder and Minfu simply hit me too hard unless I have multiple boosts up, and Clefairy is basically a stop to this set no matter what. But if I'm able to take care of those threats, I think Scraggy is my best shot at winning this game. Next up is Ivysaur, and this is a much more dedicated Eviolite special wall meant to check Duat, Clefairy, and Dracloak. The set is pretty standard, Giga Drain and Sludge Bomb for dual stabs, and Synthesis for good recovery, at least out of sand. The last move is usually knockoff on this kind of set, but because of my Hattrem set, I don't really want to be throwing around knockoffs that could bail the Grimer out of its ring target. So instead we're going with Sleep Powder, which still cripples common Ivysaur switch-ins like Grimer and Fletchinder. This does mean I'm basically unable to touch Overcoat Varoom, but I am hoping I don't see that guy. Next up is Luxio. This is a max defense Intimidate set because I needed something that doesn't immediately fall over to Fletchinder. The problem with Luxio is that I can barely do anything about the Hippopotas switch-in, As you can see, I've went with a choice specs set with Terra Blast just so I can do something to it. But even that barely 3-hit KOs, max HP EV Light. So listen, man, I'm trying in this matchup. On the plus side, if Hippopotas is gone, or if it happens to be tricked a ring target, Specs Full Switch is actually kind of an insane move into that team. So there is decent offensive potential here, at least under circumstances. And then lastly, we have Fletchinder, which matches my opponent's Fletchinder with an offensive Brave Bird set. The difference here is that I don't have a switch-in on my side for their Fletchinder, but my opponent has a Hippopotas, which walls Brave Bird basically indefinitely. So we got to run U-Turn and Will-O-Wisp to read those switch-ins, and Roost keeps me healthy in order to potentially switch into opposing Fletchinder fire moves, or Bayleaf grass moves, or Minfu fighting moves. This should be an important mon in this matchup. So that is going to do it for the team. I gotta say, I'm not very confident in this matchup. Being honest, Gunk is probably the one opponent I was hoping to dodge in playoffs. But regardless, we are going to do our best to win. I'll see you guys there.
Alright, we have found Gunk for the quarterfinals. Let's take a look at her team. This is, okay, almost what I expected. We see Dracloak, Fletchinder, Duat, Grimer, Hippopotas, and Varoom. I really did not expect Varoom. Now I feel bad for not bringing my Varoom. But, what did she leave behind here? No Clefairy. Honestly, not super impactful. Ivysaur is kind of here for that, but it's kind of whatever. And yeah, I guess it's just Clefairy for Varoom that I'm interested in. And there's no Minfu, which means Fletchinder's role is not that needed anymore, honestly. It's theoretically good for threatening the recruiting, but we don't have a fire move. So I might just lead it. And then Wisp into something. Yeah, lead Fletchinder I think is okay. It loses to lead Duat, which is the issue here. But I could at least get a big Brave Bird on it. Or threaten a big Brave Bird, you know? But yeah, good luck, have fun to Gunk. Let's have a good match. Oh, this is a stadium I don't get too often. It is the Duat. This is okay. So, unfortunately, it's just so hard to tell what Duat's going to have. It has so many different stats. Its stats are just so well-rounded that it could be Scarf, it could be very bulky. If it has Aqua Jet and it's like a physical set, it does do a lot to me. I'm not too upset about just throwing Fletchinder away, honestly. I don't want to do it. I think I U-turn. Okay. We do probably about 10 to 15% there, which looks like it's Eviolite, actually. I think I'm going to go Luxio, perhaps. Luxio is my best switch into their Fletchinder, though. I bet they're pivoting out. So I could go Frogadier. That feels like a bad play. Ivysaur is safe. I bet they're flip turning. I'm gonna go Luxio. Intimidate reduces flip turn damage. If they stay in, I'm threatening them. Yep, flip turn. 263 to 220. Honestly, any chip on Duat is appreciated. Flip turn. This is not a physical set. Yeah, there's a Hippopotas. Okay, so if I were her, I would probably double into Grimer right now because Hattrem is so obvious. I could go into something else instead of Hattrem because Grimer's just going to be the play. By the way, that Duat with flip turn. Yeah, that's minus attack nature. We go Ivysaur and we threaten a Sleep Powder. That's actually not, like, the worst. Like, the switch out of Fluxio is so obvious. I think a double's going to be pulled here. Yes. Is it... I think Leftovers would have gone off before Sandstorm, so I guess I wouldn't know. I want a Sleep Powder, I think. Do I do it? I mean, 75% chance I'm in a pretty good spot, unless he switches in Varoom. Would you switch in Varoom, or would you just go for the knockoff? I'm going for Sleep Powder. I brought it, I'm gonna click it. They do switch out, darn it. Okay. They're probably afraid of knockoff, actually. Showbiz. They do go Varoom, what the heck? Ah, darn it. Alright. This is probably their Thief Absorber, or their knockoff Absorber with Thief. This is what I'm trying to say. That sucks. Darn it. I really thought the Grimer would just be happy to stay in and, like, knock me off. I felt like I could enough play. I think I could go Hattrem now, actually. Alright, I'm calling some stuff and I'm not really following up on it, so let's maybe try to get our gameplay in check a little bit here. Goes for Poison Jab, sure. No Poison Prop, it was very nice. And, I suppose I'll do it and go for the trick. This is dumb. I don't think it's gonna work. Ah, why'd you stay in? What did I get anyway? Citrus Berry? Oh, I kind of like that. Okay, if nothing else, I got a Citrus Berry out of it. Thank you for the berry. This is not going too well, though. I really hope you just go in Grimer. Oh well. I think I'll Nuzzle now. Yeah, because you're going to go Grimer now. There it is. Hey, now Varoom's able to be hit by Sludge Bomb. Unfortunately, Ring Target doesn't actually work on the one thing. The... What am I trying to say? Sleep Powder. Because it's type-based immunities, not ability-based ones. Grimer, huh? I'm thinking Fletch. Fletch is kind of expendable. And it has a strong Brave Bird to click here. Knock off. Oh my goodness. I did so much. I could Roost, I could Brave Bird. Could also Willow. Actually, you know what? Brave Bird into Hippopotas. It makes sure that Fletchinder dies. Which might be important. Because I want to keep momentum on Hippopotas. This is something new, right? No, it's just a bit of a toss. Okay. I guess I can check the calc on this. I actually don't die. Alright. Chinder. Take out the toss. Yeah, I did 25%, which, yeah, that's gotta be like at least near max Fizdef Eviolite. Unfortunate. I actually think Fletchinder could be useful, so I'm gonna U-turn. That last little bit of health could be a strong Brave Bird down the line. We're gonna preserve that. Yeah, and easy Hatchram. Okay, yeah, Earthquake. That does catch a Roost, so that's fair. I guess with Giga Drain, Hatchram's going down this turn anyway, so I'm not too upset about losing momentum, quote-unquote, on the primer. I am upset about losing Hatchram, but it's so low anyway, so might as well stay in Giga Drain. This might actually be a mix-up, considering how obvious the Grimer switch-in is. She might not do it. That's coping, though. Oh, I do get a Giga Drain. That's not bad. We live the turn. That's something. Yeah, we apply pressure so it can't slack off indefinitely. So that's kind of nice, at least. We've seen Earthquake slack off, and that's all I've seen. Actually, you know what? I might Trick. Let's take away your EVLA. Or Grimer's EVLA, actually. Why would you do that? Darn, okay. That's fine, I guess. Okay. So, what to do here? Very much feels like my endgame is becoming Scraggy. Which, you know, it's possible. Alright, so we're gonna go into this guy. We're gonna click Spikes. Yeah, game's not going super well, but I kind of knew this was such a tough matchup, and Gunk seems to have my number. But yeah, this Frogadier actually can do some stuff still. Scraggy is obviously a huge threat still. So we're gonna see what we can do. Keith, guess what you're getting? Alright. Yeah, Custom Fairy was just meant to not show an item, essentially. So that's very funny, right? Right? I have to get damage on this guy, so might as well surf. Non-stab, but it's something. Wow. And Dracloak could be the revenge here. I guess Grimer also does it, right? Yeah, it's looking pretty rough. I can't lie. That's a duot. Okay, I'm a little surprised by that. I mean, it is just gonna flip turn or something, probably. I mean, it has a decently strong Aqua Jet to click, but it is minus attack, so let's just double check. Duot against Frogadier. I'm ground type. Aqua Jet. Yeah, we'll just U-turn for chip. Oh yeah, huge chip, right? I feel like I didn't prep or play this game too great. Obviously, I don't want to call it yet, but it's just not feeling amazing. Knock off. Yeah, AV light's gone. Things are getting worse. Giga Drain, maybe? Do I want 2 Giga Drain? Do I want double? Actually, it's like a bulky duo, which I think it might be. Well, it's a speed tie with Ivysaur. I guess the question is, do I want to pivot to something else on the room? I have a hard time breaking through that room, honestly. Let's double the... Okay, it's faster and it withdrew, or it's speed tie and withdrew. But we're doubling the Scraggy on the room. We get spikes. Not too bad. Actually, you know what's funny? Custat Berry Thief actually could be like a big deal. Okay, so the thing about Scraggy is that Fletchinder is still just so threatening. If I bulk up once, how are we looking? Okay. If I bulk up once, I do win the Fletchinder matchup. Because knockoff's really strong, and Brave Bird only does like a little over half to me. Okay, I'll bulk up. They're probably parting shotting into the Fletch, right? Yeah. If I'm not +1 attack, do I still win that matchup? Tough to say. At the very least, I think they are forced into clicking Brave Bird. There's a Fletchinder. So yeah, I'm gonna go Luxio for that. Force to take a little bit of chip, maybe. And then we got our specs. So unfortunately, Terra Blast just isn't doing enough to a Hippopotas that wants to switch in. Fletchinder, it does U-turn. That's actually insane. Because I was thinking about staying in, but yeah, sure. Unfortunately, I didn't even look at the U-turn calculator. Get a bit of Spike's chip on it, that's not bad. Do I think that she's gonna recover? Parablast, it does 33 minimum, which actually is just barely a 2-shot if Gunk does not recover. I mean, I could just put a trigger on it. This sucks, though. I know, there's probably a recover coming. Slack off. Like, I'm at a loss. I guess I'll go for Gawdbear. Like, the surprise would be cool on a Spectara Blast, but this is just kind of better. You Earthquakes! Gosh darn. Alright. Well, that sucks. I am at least going to go for a Surf. Maybe an Ice Beam. Not too much disadvantage in just going for that instead. Okay. We are left alive with yet another guy. I guess I'll go Ivysaur. I don't got much else. I still think there's a chance Scraggy does it. It's just very tough with that Fletchinger hanging around. Alright, I'm gonna... Synthesis doesn't even help me. Like, I guess I'm sacking Ivysaur too. Is that what we're doing? I guess I'm gonna Giga Drain. Yeah, it's something. It's some damage. Huh. Okay, it's paired. Excuse me. Sandstorm over. I can actually Synthesis now. And, like, at this point, why not, right? I swear, if this thing gets a Custat Berry Feefo on Scraggy, that's gonna be like the funniest thing. Ivysaur, this might be my last way to properly threaten what's the guy? Epibatos? Although I guess Scraggy sets up on it, that's where we're at. That's where we're at with this guy. Where am I at in this matchup? I mean, Dracloak hasn't even come out. Fletchinder is a huge threat that's probably coming out to this Ivysaur after a parting shot. So, I mean, I guess I'm staying in the Giga Drain, right? I got nothing. This is me telling you I got nothing for you. I really didn't expect Vroom to show up, you know? It's the Fletchinder. Alright. Not gonna lie, I kind of want to click something that's not a switch. I mean, Fletchinder definitely takes me out with a Brave Bird. Even a defensive set does, because I lost my Eviolite. But at this point, what else do I got? Actually, could go Luxio now. Luxio, almost inarguably more expendable than Ivysaur, right? This spec set just didn't come to fruition. You really U-turned again? Okay. Whatever. Hilbitas, not low enough, unfortunately. I guess there was no risk to U-turning, right? Like, the room just comes back in every time. Get rid of Terra Blast. I got nothing. Alright. We got this thing chipped down. That's worth something. Honestly, it might be better that Luxio just went down to it instead of actually KOing the Hippopotas, because now Dracula doesn't get a free switch in, you know? And I think Ivysaur is probably just my best bet at stopping the bleeding from Hippopotas. Make sure I take it out with a Giga Drain. You actually keep saving it. Interesting. Sacking off the Grimer instead? Sure. I don't know why you wouldn't just sack the Hippo, but like, sure. At least I get a KO this match. And technically, Ivysaur counts as KOing Grimer, but it's kind of poetic that I don't even get to KO that. It's Gunk's Sand that did it. Sure. How many turns of Sand left? 2? Okay. And with Hippopotas so chipped down, I mean, I don't do lots of thing, but it's definitely like a Scraggy angle, you know? I'm just gonna Sludge Bomb, I guess. Yep. Brave Bird takes the KO. We do get a healthy chunk of recoil off. Plus Sandstorm, this is what I was hoping for out of that Fletchinder. So the thing is, Frogdeer is like really my best bet at KOing this thing. It might have Quick Attack now that I'm thinking about it. And if I want to live the turn, I have to click either U-turn or Spikes. Very quickly approaching Hurry Up and Win the Scraggy, which looks rough, and it is. I think my opponent knows that Fletchinder might have to be preserved. I'm going to go for Spikes. Yeah. Oh, is my opponent? Is the Maroon in cut stat range? Say it ain't so. Just out of cut stat range. Yeah. Okay. I could surf now to force it into Custap. And then make sure that it doesn't use that on Scraggy, although I can't control that too much at this point. I could go Scraggy now. They have a sack in Fletchinder and a revenge in Gawdbear for the opposing Fletchinder? Maybe. So we'll go Scraggy. Varoom, it can't thief yet. And I have rest Shedskin stuff in case it poisons me. This is my play. This is my play to hopefully keep a chance at this game. Yeah. We do get poisoned. Suboptimal for me. And we don't get Shedskin. Okay. We're gonna need better luck than that if we want to win this game. I couldn't Drain Punch. What's that doing? Scraggy. Chew up the room. Drain Punch. It's not a KO, but it ensures that it's in Spike's range at the very least. I think I do that. Keeps me a little bit topped off as well. I'm still not sure what I can rest on though, unfortunately. Oh, I just KO'd that. Oh, I could EV Lightning Health. Okay. So Scraggy gets a KO on the room. Oh, and we get Shedskin, so that's something at the very least. Less chip right now, not poison for later. Okay, and I think my Fletchinder will have to be the sack on this guy. Yep. Well, I think this Fletchinder is Roost. Well, we see which Fletchinder came in on top in this matchup, unfortunately. Okay. Alright, and my opponent just needs to position themselves so that Fletchinder comes in on Scraggy before it's too set up, right? In response, I think I have to, well, they can just sack Hippo, right? That's their best play. Oh, I guess I'll set Spikes again. It takes advantage of me turning into a ground type, so I'm not vulnerable to sand. Yeah, there's the Hippo as a sack. It stalls a single turn of sand. You know, we're doing what we can here. So, importantly now, they are forced, I think, to revenge for something that's not Fletchinder, because obviously outspeed that. Although Dracula can come in and simply U-turn out the Fletchinder, that's probably where they're at. Do I just switch out now to Scraggy? I think I might, actually. Because, yeah, Dracula comes in as a revenge. If I take out Sacred Batas, just he turns out the Fletchinder and game's very much sealed up. This way, I guess I still have a chance. Okay. So I think I bulk up. I bulk up if I think I'm... I bulk up if I think they're staying in on hit with cost this turn. I knock off if I think they're going straight into Fletchinder. Maybe bulk up? Oh, did they just go right into Fletchinder? No, it's a Duat. Is it Encore Duat? Would you run Encore Gunk? You probably would. Then again, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Because I can't just switch out to Frogs here. Do I just say if it's Encore, GG? So if it is Encore and I read that, Frogadier goes down, Scraggy comes in at like half, or less, you know, and I have to attack. So if it's Encore, either way, GG. Knock off. Huh. This does make some sense. Knock off the Eviolite. Can I get a wake up? Perhaps. No? Okay. I mean, it doesn't matter what I click this turn, I'm staying asleep. Oh, that does so much damage. What? Oh, it's in Torrent range. Yep, good game. Okay. Yeah, long game for, like, nothing being all that exciting, honestly. That's unfortunate. But hey, yeah, well played, the Gunk, obviously. I didn't know what to do for this matchup, so I was not building my best, if we're being honest. That's okay, though. This was a really fun season. And yeah, I mean, my losing streak to Gunk continues. Unfortunate. I feel like I just got outplayed at a lot of turns here. Especially early on in the battle, like places I called too, you know? But I just didn't act on them because I was like, well, like it's early, who knows how many reads we're gonna make. But I guess I just need to be more bold in those. And a lot of these sets were like shooting for the moon. Just like not great chances of actually working. I really wanted the Hatchrim thing to work. I really wanted Specs Luxio to work. They were kind of pipe dreams. But that's okay. It was a great season. And I'm moving right along. Got other draft content coming to the channel here. So yeah, with all that said, good game to Gunk. Thank you so much for running the whole season alongside Maki. And good luck to you in the rest of the playoffs. See ya.